What's up, everybody, and welcome to the House of Business podcast. I'm your host, Matt.
And I'm also your host, Hope. How's everybody doing today?
We're getting very passive-aggressive with that.
It's going to get worse, too. Okay, so...
I'm your main host, Matt.
We actually argue a lot about stakes in this. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, we are having a special episode. This is like our special... It's literally, they call them specials. A vacation episode.
Special epi.
I'd love to do one more. And also, we're going to do them for holidays and things like that, because that's also a whole nother thing. But we were on vacation, first vacation of the summer. We have one more.
Yeah.
And got to talk to the family about why we like going on vacation together, what we don't like about it, terrible life altering moments that have happened on vacations. There's probably more to come. Hopefully nothing ever fatal. And pros and cons, like how we actually successfully or unsuccessfully go on a vacation with 15 people and like 7 kids. So poor Matt has been dragged into, I don't think when he got married into this family or Steve or any of them realized that that's what you were signing up for, but here we are.
No.
So let's talk about our next family vacation real quick, which we have not gone on, which will be funny to listen to this later. We are all getting on planes with our kids on the same plane and going to Jamaica.
It's the same plane?
We're on the same plane.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And it's not that far, but we're going to Jamaica. And
yep.
I have no idea how that's going to go. And this is the first time we've done that. Usually our vacations are pretty... like the last one we did in North Carolina was a little bit harder because it's like so far. Most of the time we go to places that are easy to get to, easy to do. Everybody kind of does their own thing if they want to. Yeah,
because it's enough to manage all the people. So the convenience of usually it being close by. Mm-hmm. I mean, the flight isn't too long, but it's going to be interesting for sure. And I think they're really close to each other. And, well, this might be awkward because it's pretty much just your family and my family and
mom and dad and their.
No, when we went to North Carolina.
Oh yeah.
But like, even just after that, like decompressing after that, it's like, we only have a couple of weeks until we head out again. So it's like mentally preparing for that all over again.
We have a lot of things going on in between that time, but I do think that's going to be more of a successful trip. I actually think adding Stetson's family unit in there add some diversity in our interactions. Mm-hmm. But we were stuck in, so what does not work in our family on vacations is anytime we're all stuck inside. So that happened in the last few days in our last one because it was raining a lot. So this one, we're outside a ton. There's lots of activities outside. So we have almost all boys in our family, like little kids. So we need a lot of those things. So fun fact about Matt. So obviously everybody knows Matt's Canadian. Comes to live in South Florida, and we quickly realized that he has a massive fear of water animals. Pretty much mostly sharks, but you're not like
water animals.
You're not like a water guy.
No, I'm not an ocean guy.
Okay, well we live in South Florida. The ocean is like a street over.
I understand that.
Okay, but in like vacation Matt mode, everybody has a vacation mode. Vacation Hope. Vacation Hope looks very tan. Vacation Matt does venture out and try the water sports. Yeah. And Stetson mostly uses, persuasion and force to get him to do
alcohol.
And alcohol. And Matt jumps in and does it. Well, tell us the first time that you went water skiing with Stets.
So let me add to this, okay? So I grew up around lakes, which if anybody's listening, I'm sure
lake life is very
gonna
different.
Like research all the species of fish and aquatic life, and they're like, well, these are just as dangerous, but whatever.
Alligators freak me out in those.
I will swim by bass any day of the week in the water and not be worried about it.
Doesn't have teeth, does it?
And the salt in your face and whatever. But the ocean, it's like, even when you're walking, I'm like, oh, is there like a crab that's going to bite my toe?
See?
Like, there's just a lot of like, I am not alpha in said domain.
No.
But sharks are like my biggest fear in the ocean. and I feel like I'm kind of built like a thumb. There's a lot of meat there. So I'm like, if I'm a shark and I see this idiot bobbing up and down in the water.
You're not a very good swimmer either. Okay. That was the first time we interacted with Matt.
Is it this camera that I'm talking to?
Yeah.
This has become I feel bullied on this podcast.
The swimming?
You always got something to say.
Okay, but Matt, the first time I ever saw you swim, we all watched you.
I was in the shallow end. There was no depth for me to get under.
We all were like, wait, why is he not moving?
No, you're so dramatic.
Okay.
You're so dramatic.
Keep going. Keep going.
Anyways, so I venture out in the ocean every now and then.
Yeah.
I've got a little liquid courage, and I've seen everybody else not get attacked by sharks.
Yeah.
Because it usually takes me like 3 to 4 days. I'm like, okay, we've gone tubing, we rented a boat. This is the day I'll go because whatever. So we were in the Keys, and we said, hey, let's go. We will go water skiing on the back of a jet ski.
Yeah,
it was a boat.
No, yeah, but it was strong enough to pull one person, I think.
Yeah. So I was like, I've never skied or jet skied before, but I know how to skate, so we'll get this. So I tried it, and it was
you picked it up fast.
It was fun, and so we did throughout the day. Not a big deal. And then for some reason, I still can't believe I didn't think about this, but it was like dusk, which probably is prime feeding time for
I would imagine.
Wild animal in the ocean. Stets is like, hey, let's go out there. It's like the water's calm, and you pull me around, I'll pull you around. So I'm like, okay. So I jump in, pulls me around. We're buzzing around for like 10 minutes, or it felt like an hour, but like my legs are burning.
Oh, really?
So I'm like, I gotta let go. I'm just gonna plop in and float there, and then Stetson will come around and pick me up. So I do that, and I'm laying, like my skis are pointing straight up, and the water's calm, the sunset. I see Stets turning around. We're all laughing, ha ha ha. And then a fin it goes right between me and Stetson on the jet ski, and he's like 100 feet away.
Yeah.
So there's a gap, and I look at his face because I'm trying to keep it together. I'm just like this bobbing piece of like Canadian beef in the ocean. And he looks at me and he goes, Matt. He goes, don't worry. If it comes back up, if the fin comes back up, it's a dolphin. And I'm like, how long are we going to wait until we decide if it's a shark or not? So we're sitting there. I'm like bobbing, and like 5 seconds go by. 10 seconds go by, a fin doesn't come up, and I see him panicking. So he like starts jetting towards me. Eventually out of the peripheral, the fin comes back up, and Stetson and I ended up holding onto his hips and riding a jet ski for 20 minutes, following a school of these dolphins.
It was like a romantic moment.
Sun was setting. They were like, going through our wake or whatever with us, and it was actually a very life-changing moment for me. But
sweet. You actually have had the most interactions with a shark, because the couple years later we go tubing last year, and you said it so right. Like 3 days in, you're like all in. I have a video on my Instagram of you and Stetson. I mean, we're flying, and you're like, you probably like knocked out your neck or something.
Oh yeah,
because you tumbled so
hard. I have
hard.
a video of that. I'll send it to you.
You tumbled like you probably rolled over like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, I got the wind knocked out of me.
Yeah,
it's another. I get up from the water and I can't breathe. And again,
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah. I'm like,
were you
and
choking?
Stetson's just looking at me. He's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, because he fell on top of me. That guy's terrible. Video. That guy's terrible in crisis.
Anyways, but you did it another time, and all of a sudden Matt's riding. I think he was even smoking a cigar while he's riding. And all of a sudden you could see our faces, like we see fins behind him, or one big fin behind him. And we all know Matt hates sharks, and we're all like, our faces just go like flat.
Like, you guys don't hide.
No, we don't
right
hide
away.
it. And then you could see Stetson like, and he like hits his fin on his forehead, and Matt's like, dang it, get me in. So funny. But
I'm glad you found that to be funny.
Yeah.
So, but I guess to that point though, you guys make fun of me for being afraid of sharks, but I have like interactions. Like nobody else has had fin interactions.
No, I'm pretty scared of sharks, and with social media today, I feel like all the time I'm reading articles that are like, person was vacationing and lost their limb.
Oh yeah, and
nonstop.
That's like my little fascination with orcas right now attacking boats.
Oh yeah, I want to Google that. That's like a weird
You want to Google? What's been holding you back from Googling?
I just forgot. You just reminded me.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what in the world? And orcas are scary. But they're mostly in the Pacific, right? They're not over here.
I don't know. They're geographic.
Okay, can I tell you a fear and then we'll wrap this?
Yeah.
I will never swim with whales. Like, they freak me out. First of all, the images of like an open sea like that where you can't see anything but blue freaks me out. And then they are so large. There is a family that I follow that went swimming with whales, and they like all of a sudden started like peaking or whatever, where they like come out breaching, whatever. And he was like with his son, and I was like, how do you know if a whale isn't like coming out from under you? You don't. Like, that's horrifying. I mean, you're dead. Well, like, why would you? Like, to me, like, just the weight of them. It just freaks me out. I don't know.
They're very intelligent. Except, I did see those two people on the kayak get gobbled right up.
I think that's happened like twice now. No, they spit them back out because they don't eat that large of animals. But it's just, anyways, I don't know. It just freaks me out.
So all that to be said, you guys have assured me that Jamaica, first it started that there was no sharks in Jamaica. And then now the story I'm being told is that they're the sharks that can't hurt you. Oh. So
I don't remember a lot of sharks in Jamaica, but it's also like way clearer water. And
what's the difference?
I don't know. You can like see them coming.
Oh, so you see your fate? I'm going to lose my right leg. Yeah.
Anyways. All right. Well, that's it. I think we will have to report back on Jamaica and have like a recap of how it went. We might even do some podcasting down there. We'll see if we can convince everybody. But I hope everybody enjoys the dialogue between Mom and Shar. It was fun, interesting. You get to hear more stories about how our family is nuts and why we keep coming back to hang out is beyond me, but we do.
We just don't have any other friends. So
and
it's like,
let's end on that.
Nobody else likes us, so we have to like each other.
Sounds like a pop.
All right. Well, if anybody listens, I hope you enjoy.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, in the house today, we have Mom and Shar back. This is just a little bit of a special episode because we happen to be on vacation at the moment.
Vacay-epi.
We're going to do a little vacation episode and actually crack the code on how do we get 4 large family units of 15 plus people, 7 kids.
This is the last time.
A vacation on a regular basis. And when I say regular basis, I mean at least once a year, if not more. But also I wanted to kind of talk through like pros, cons, negatives, positives, but also some really ridiculously funny stories that have come out from some of our family vacations. So this is actually an unusual one. We're usually in the Keys or somewhere tropical. We definitely go somewhere at least in every summer as a family. There's 4 family units total at the moment. Blasey and Zooey don't have their own units just yet. And then we sometimes do like a holiday Thanksgiving trip or something like that. So and then sometimes a Disney trip or something like that. That's not always with everybody. So I wanted to start with some of our potentially mishaps as a family on our trips of things that go wrong. And I will start with last year, what happened with Levi.
What happened with Levi?
Golf cart.
And Blasey.
Oh.
So we go to vacation in the Keys where we drive a lot of golf carts and we watch the sunset every single night. And Levi happened to be on the golf cart with Shar playing on it, I guess. The key was still in it. And what did he do?
We're just jumping in, huh?
Yeah.
This story would be so much better with Blasey.
It would be so much better with Blasey, but
Blasey was the one that almost died.
Okay, so what did he do?
Well, he He must have put it in
He hit
in forward.
the pedal.
Hit
That's
the pedal
and
drove into the bench in front of him, which had people in it.
No, Blasey was in between the bench and the golf cart.
Yes.
So basically he's
pinned Blasey between the golf cart.
She was splatted on the windshield like a bug.
But okay,
Like
but
a
by the way,
bug on
we're out on like
95.
a, just so people know, we're out on like a pier. So it's not just like if it was a miracle that Blasey was there and was the cushion and the chairs and everybody else was there, because if in that little cement like cinder block, because if the cart didn't hit that, I mean, you're in the ocean. So who knows what would have happened. My confession on that whole thing was, I mean, there were tears. People were crying just based on the pure emotion of the situation. My first instinct was to go see what, hopefully, if not any damage to the golf cart, which there wasn't. No. And I saw Blasey's back of her leg, and I realized that she was the sacrificial lamb. So I'm forever grateful.
Well, when he hit Blasey, we stopped because everyone was worried the golf cart was going to go into the ocean. And then all of a sudden, Blasey's like, I can't feel my leg. And then Mom flipped.
So dramatic.
Flipped this like picnic table.
Yes, Mama Bear came out.
Yeah.
I just
flipped a picnic table?
Pretty much.
No.
It was the chair table combo that I forced.
It was basically
to release my child from pinning.
I was in the cart with Levi, and so leaned over. I threw the cart into reverse, and then I pushed on the pedal to get the cart off of Blasey's leg.
Oh.
But Blasey says the mom, like the look on her face when she looked down and the scream and squeal that came out of her, she said she thought her bone was sticking out.
I got mad at Mom for that, because I was like, Mom, when people are in distress like that, don't freak them out more, because Blasey literally thought there was a bone sticking out of her leg.
But the sad part is...
Mom was just went white.
But what were the extent of her injuries?
Nothing.
A bruise?
A bruise.
So that's the sad part is like...
But the funniest part of all of it was that Mom and Dad were sitting in front of, like, it was the golf cart, Blasey, and then Mom and Dad sitting in these like
chairs.
Yeah, these like lounge chairs. And we like propelled Mom and Dad forward and out of their chairs with their drinks. They went everywhere. Dad was so pissed.
Snacks.
Dad just thought someone was standing behind him as a practical joke, just like lunged his chair forward.
Because he turned around so mad.
Because he was like in his vibe. We had music on, the sun.
The only better end of this story would be if we had like propelled Dad forward into the ocean. He would have been so mad.
I don't think this story is making people want to go on vacation.
Yeah.
No, there was another family sitting right next to us, and they got in their golf cart and scurried off as fast as
Come on, kids, get in the cart. Let's get out of here. Like totally.
They were like,
ruined
these
it.
people are dangerous. Get away.
All that to say, things don't always go perfect on our trips. Now, let me bring it back further. Before all of these family units would go on vacations together, Mom and Dad, when we were in about high school, started doing something called mystery trips with us. Mom, explain to us a little bit about what those were.
Well, we really felt like the greatest memories we could make with our kids were always on vacation. Like, you don't really remember the day-to-day the older you get. And so when Dad and I would look back on our childhoods, our memories usually stemmed from experiences. And so we just made it a priority for our family that we wanted to spend whatever extra we had on taking our families on vacation. So Dad came up, we actually came up with this idea when we were in the youth ministry. So we would take these teenagers, we were probably in our early 20s, on these mystery trips. We wouldn't tell them where we were going. We would just give them a packing list, and we would tell the parents after we left, because we knew most parents would tell their kids.
Because you couldn't do that in 2023.
I know.
We literally signed waivers.
Yeah.
We're not going to tell you we were taking your kids. Just
after
pack
we
stuff.
left, they could open the envelope and see where their kids were going. So when our kids became, in that young age, 13, 14, 15, Dad said, let's do a mystery trip with our kids. So we started doing mystery trips. And we did the same thing. We'd give you a packing list, and we wouldn't tell you where we were going.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
And the first year you hated it. You thought we were ruining the vacation because you didn't know where you were going.
Well,
I don't remember that.
Hating it, but I think it was such a new idea. So they told us about 2 weeks before we were leaving that we were leaving, gave us a packing list with mixed things on it. It was everything from like sunscreen to a winter coat or something like that. And we also 7 a.m. be out in the living room ready to go. And then you guys also had people at the time they were landlines. So people calling the house to throw us off, confirming reservations or
they did.
Whatever. Oh
yeah.
Yeah. Dad had a whole thing going on.
I don't remember that.
I would gather you and Stetson to be like, I answered the phone today and it was someone from Alaska Airlines confirming our flight, and that
How
we
old
never
were
went
you?
there. 14.
She's 18.
Well, okay, so we went on
2 years
college.
ago. Yeah.
I think this is a new idea though for a lot of people. We went on a handful of trips and they were not lame. The first one,
Yeah, they set the bar really high. So after
high.
that, we were all in on it. On the mystery
So the first
trip.
one we went from hiking. We went to Las Vegas, hiking the Grand Canyon, sleeping at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. Resorts. It was a multi-day trip to Europe, to Jamaica, to skiing in Banff.
Wait, those
Canada.
but those were all 4 different years.
Yeah.
That
You
was
made
one
it
big
sound
trip.
like that
No,
was
no.
But then, we did.
They were very, very, very fun and experiences. I hope we can all give our kids one day.
Who was the most annoying sibling on the trips?
Oh, I know the answer to that.
Well, I want you to answer it.
Charlotte.
Oh, really? Why was Charlotte
Why
so
was I
annoying?
annoying?
Oh, remember that one year she was 13? She was at her worst.
What did she do?
She just was annoying.
Negative.
She's mad at everybody all the time.
Yeah, I kind of
Remember?
do remember that. That was the year of the Von Dutt chat.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Came back full circle.
Yeah, it did.
Got to dust mine off.
Yeah, gotta bring
Still
that back.
have it?
Yeah, it's like a trend again. The one year we were on a mystery trip and Shar was leaving for Africa the next day, and Dad got the flight wrong. He thought it was midnight that night, and it was the next day, and so it made Shar only have 8 hours at home to pack.
Yeah.
And you were bawling on the floor, and Stetson's like,
Why are you crying?
yeah,
He always
That's
made such serious, big moments in my life feel
yeah.
small.
He's like, get up! Why are you crying? Who cares? You're like. Anyways,
It's a big deal.
yeah, those are fun things. Okay,
But
so
it's a lot easier to plan a trip for your little family unit with 4 children
Yeah,
who
yeah.
don't have lives than it is to plan a vacation for 4 family units, 5 including yours, who all have jobs, husbands and wives.
okay,
and
so
trying
let's
to coordinate that.
let's dive into
Yeah.
that. How do we do it? The explosion in the keys.
Oh, yeah. Steve almost blew me up.
That was. Were you
Steve
even married
almost blew
yet?
you
I don't
up.
think you were married.
No.
Oh, with the firework?
That's
Oh,
how I
yeah.
knew Steve was a pyro.
Yeah,
Because we
he's
had
big. My husband's a big pyro.
The fireworks come in boxes with an assortment of fireworks. And I remember walking around the side of the house and I look at him like Steve's lighting the entire box. And I
Oh
see
my
the
gosh.
wick. It's like and I'm slow-mo. There's a video of
We
it.
have a video of it.
I'm slow motion running. It's
Yeah.
behind me. And I'm on fire.
Yeah.
I literally disappear in the fire.
Singed
I'm
your
like,
shirt.
So now I've learned.
I will say we usually so pros. Our family is growing, so who knows how long it'll always look like this, but we try to find places that can accommodate, large parties and everybody gets at least one room. You have to this has been starting to slowly transition, but your family has to be able to function within your one room. And I would say, how would you guys say that we all figure out things that we all like to do at a vacation?
I don't know that we do.
Well, I would say one thing that's a really big deal is a routine. I think we kind of get into a routine almost every vacation where there's okay, we have a morning looks a certain way, pool time, or an activity in the afternoon, sunset, dinners.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I think
Yeah.
that really helps because everybody has boundaries.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
And then we always kind of find a place that has a lot of options that we can kind of do our own thing or do things together. What do you guys think?
You want to take that?
No.
Yeah, I definitely. So we were talking about this last night around the fire. and I was thinking about this as the family grows. I'm like, I feel like we're almost getting to capacity to where we're not going to be able to do this forever.
Well, or it'll just look different. Like maybe we have multiple homes. Like we're not all staying in one house.
Yeah, but it's like outside of the home setting, I'm like, man, we're starting to show up to dinners with, it's going to be 25 people every time we go somewhere.
Yeah, but every year the kids get older. So every year it does get a little easier.
Yeah. It does.
And every year we're like, remember last year I was chasing Levi around the pool with poop in his diaper. Ha ha ha.
We were worried they were
not
going to fall
even
in.
diapers anymore.
Yeah.
And we were worried they were going to fall in. Like there was a nervousness about it. Now they're all inside right now, like doing their thing. And
yeah.
One day when they're 13, they're going to be, we won't see them the whole time.
Yeah.
We'll be able to leave them and go to dinner and come home, like order them a pizza.
No, I know, but I'm more so saying like, yeah, that's easy, but they're still bodies, right? So it's like let's say that generation of our boys is there, and now there's another generation that's coming, right? Between the ones on the way.
Do you have an announcement?
Well, you'd be announcing that, not me, but no, we don't.
I would also say, though, that one thing I think that our family has going for us is that we actually kind of all like to do similar things.
Yeah.
For the most part, like at least there's groups of people that like to do similar things. So whether it's working out or golfing or like the boat stuff that we like to do, or honestly smoking cigars at night, and with watching the sunset, like we all
And
like
we're a weird family. Like we like to hang out.
That's why we have this podcast.
We like to hang out together.
Yeah. And even the in-laws like to hang out. So like a lot of times the family
Wait. What do you mean by that?
You mean the anti? No, they're not called the in-laws. They're the antis.
So a lot of times families might like to hang out, but the antis don't really connect, and so they're just sort of sitting around, tired of having this same family conversation.
Oh, they are still they are still tired of having the same conversation.
Stetson, Steve, and Matt can go off and do their own thing. They can go golfing. They can do go work out together. Go putt. I mean,
we got to golf one time this trip, Steve. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
That was your problem. Not
yeah,
no, it wasn't for lack of us saying what.
Never once
way.
I would say Stetson makes things interesting. He always has a fun activity, like whether it's a game or something, like he brings energy to it.
The whole time we're on vacation, whether it's 7 days or 10, there's not a day where every family splits off and does their own thing. We spend very little time apart.
Yeah, that's true.
What's wrong
but part
with
of that is because the little boys want to be together. That's fun for them.
We'll split. We'll split up the kids more than the adults. Where we'll make every kid go in their own room so the adults can have more time together.
I get what you're saying. Well, we did do like a family portion before. You guys have done a trip before where you guys will do, a trip together before and then meet up with us or something like that.
When do we do that?
Well, that was only once, but yeah.
Yeah, for your anniversary.
Well, and if one person breaks out of the party, we
think
start
wrong.
trolling them.
Like Lacey right now.
Where's Lacey? Where's Lacey?
We're like, who sucks? Wait, Char's napping again? Go wake her up.
We get I feel like 90% of our conversations are just asking where everybody is. Like, why are we so obsessed
or even
with
if you're
everybody
here,
else?
like Lisa, if you go back to your house for an hour, like where'd Lisa go?
We're like
where is she?
Yeah.
No, Stetson last trip
Lisa's
said
bad energy this trip. She had coffee on the hill by herself this morning.
Okay, Char, explain what LVP is or LVF.
Least valuable family.
We hand out an award every vacation. For the least valuable family member.
No, I think it's family.
Sorry, family. So explain what that means.
We just hate you the most on the trip.
No, but you have to basically you have to be a team player. You have to contribute.
Yeah.
You have to help clean, help cook.
Who's wanted the most? Blasey.
You guys.
No, we only won that one
Stetson
time.
Will say, let's call it phone a friend.
Phone a friend.
Stetson will say the Sherry's.
Oh, and you guys definitely won it.
No, last year
1 or 2 years.
Yeah,
well, probably.
Salibas, come on, you've.
My gosh!
Last year,
children screaming.
Yeah, that was Leon 1 year and Luke another.
Yeah, 2
today.
We were the 1 year where we were in another house.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Levi threw the keyboard over he destroyed a lot of stuff at that one house.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. Oh, let's ask Stetson.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, and then who won it last year?
I think it was. I don't think anybody won
yes,
it
was.
last year. Who?
Dad and Mom.
Oh yeah,
Mom and Dad.
Because Stetson brought up. that we never
that was
saw
an
them.
epiphany for me.
them, but Blasey won it 1 year.
But this is what I'll say about Stefan is like,
he wants to win it.
no, but it's
He tries to
my mind
win
was
it.
blown because
He's like, what do I have to do?
I think he adds.
check.
I think he adds another layer too, but then I realized I only see him for an hour a day on each trip at sunset. And I for some reason, I just always felt his presence was there, like the entire trip. Like we go to the pool or whatever, and I'm like, oh yes, we've seen Stefan all day. I'm like, I haven't seen him the entire day.
But honestly,
We
the
see
older
him for
dad
an
gets,
hour and a half.
the older he gets, the more I'm okay with that. Because the longer he's there, the more he complains.
He's like,
The
oh, it's so
louder he
loud.
gets.
Or he's like, turns up the music so
So
loud that you can't.
opinionated. He starts hijacking.
I just texted Stetson and said, who always wins LVF, least valuable family on vacay? He goes, typically Sherry's.
He needs no fact check that.
We'll talk
He
about that in
needs
another
proof.
So that's I think the whole point of that is in fun to make sure everybody has a really good attitude.
Yeah.
And we contribute. So there's consumers and there's contributors. And you can't be a consumer. You have to contribute to all things. But you also have to
yeah, but I
have a good
wouldn't say
attitude.
if we got LVF, it's because we were consumers.
You guys? Oh, no. You guys are not consumers.
But you just made those two key points: to be a contributor or a consumer.
No, LVF is more just like attitude based. I feel like
yeah. I'll take it. I'll take an L every time for that.
yeah.
I get so fed up with it.
Yeah.
Wait,
Honestly, that's
is there,
why
is
Mom's
there
like,
a
wait, what?
problem on this trip that we don't know about?
I get so annoyed.
No. Matt, that's
No, you
why
know
he
what?
ends it.
If Steve was on this podcast today, usually in terms of like agendas and time, we're pretty accurate. It's like 20 minutes off.
Mm-hmm.
This trip has been insane. It's like, hey, we're gonna go to the falls, and it's like 9:30.
But also, Matt, like,
I didn't get my thought done.
But what's
This is
the
a tradition
rush?
thing.
Yeah, I don't know. If
He's like, hurry. We have to.
Well,
let's leave
it's
at
because
9 versus
that's
11.
your fault.
No.
Your expectations with him
Can I
is
finish my
not
thought?
solid.
Because we
Can I
have
finish
to
my thought? Can I finish my
race back
thought?
to the house
Can I finish my
to
thought?
stare at each other.
Can I finish my thought?
Matt,
I'm
finish your
saying
thought.
that if it's going to be another hour
I
and a
just think that-
half, I can go work out or do some emails or not just sit there like thinking we're going to leave in 20 minutes. And then I go upstairs and I'm like, all the girls are blow drying their hair, doing their makeup.
But Matt,
I'm like,
you
we're not
could-
leaving for an hour
But
and a half.
Matt, you are a grown man. You could ask that question and say, "Hey,"
What time are we leaving?
And you
"Oh,
asked
we'll leave
Hope
at
and she told
10:30."
you.
Okay, I'll be right at 10:30.
Wait, hold on.
Matt and I are gonna start fighting.
I will also say though about that is that we carry way more of the vacation weight.
yes.
What?
You guys
Sis.
don't honestly, which I'm okay with because like Steve doesn't want to help get the kids ready and plan the day. Like if he needs a second and wants to go do his own thing, I'd rather him do that and just handle the kids. But we handle, we have to stop getting ready to break up a fight. We have to stop getting ready to feed them muffins.
Yeah. And yesterday,
You don't think
Yes.
that?
Find all the
Saturday.
socks and shoes that are all over the house that keep getting lost.
yeah,
I'd love to hear
Clean
your
up
opinion
the
on
living room, clean up the kitchen.
100%.
You guys just take out the trash that Shar already pulled up, tied up nicely, and put next to the door.
Yeah.
Actually, Steve does that, and then I take it out.
Okay.
And then
That was your one job.
I
is
watch
trash.
both Saliba's and Sherry's every morning by myself.
They play their own iPad.
No, they don't.
Luca
I
is
feed
with
them
me.
breakfast.
Let me be very clear. The
What are you
morning
guys talking about?
the morning you guys went to golf,
Father's
We were
Day.
fine.
Father's
We
Day.
were fine.
we had no issues.
So the one
Nobody was
morning on
rushing
Father's
us.
Day, you guys got up and helped. I appreciate that.
The other problem is that Matt gets up at like 5 a.m.
I think the biggest, okay, what have been some of our biggest fights?
We can't go over those.
Why?
Why?
Well,
Wait, what do you think they are if you can't talk about them?
I can. Well, because I'm not always involved.
Okay, that's fair.
Well, I
the
was
person
involved.
has to be
Yeah.
here to
Yeah.
share their
to defend
side.
themselves.
I
But
would
all
say
that-
one
but to
time,
say that-
one time I did tell Stetson that one of his. What did I say about his kid?
Oh my gosh. Leon, Hope's oldest, was screaming in the pool, fighting. And then
No, wait, don't
Stetson
repeat this.
goes,
Never mind.
Yeah, Stetson goes, Hope, sometimes I just want to. And then he smacks his hand like he wanted to just smack Leon. But he didn't say, I want to smack Leon. He motioned it.
Yeah.
And we're at the pool, and there's a few other families there, and Hope from across the pool goes, "Shut up, Stetson! I'm gonna punch your kid in the face!" And the dad's floating in the pool, belly up with his kids. It's like, oh my gosh! Like Mickey reacted and was like, "Oh my gosh," and was laughing at us.
That's a good example.
We're like, shh, please.
That's a good example of this. We do go on vacations and we have a lot of fun, but there are definitely moments where things are said and thrown or whatever. No children hurt.
Fight.
No children hurt.
Adult fights.
No adult fights. No children hurt.
But they're usually around.
Well, it's just a lot going on, and you have to be flexible with 15 people.
And I say that to say we don't have to go over every fight, but like we do have blowout fights.
Yeah.
And then we make up and we get over it.
Yeah. Usually within the hour. I mean, we don't even let it last the next day and the next day.
No.
And we're not talking to that family.
But I just feel like it's inevitable because we see each other so much and we're around each other so much and we're comfortable enough with each other to like that level. Like you're just gonna, you just can't help it. Right. And I'd rather it be like released as opposed to bottled up.
Yeah, well, I will say that I think a lot of families, when they ask, how do you guys do that?
That's problem, what they mean.
Their question is like, if something bugged them, they would just like go to their room and like internalize it and like no one talks about it.
We do that too.
Well, yeah, but we also get over it.
For sure.
No, we say a lot of what we're thinking.
Yeah,
it really kills time on road trips.
The
siblings, it's usually the siblings fighting and then the spouse, like never once have just the spouses, the antis argued.
Oh, no.
It's arguments between the siblings and then spouses get involved in defense of their spouse.
But not a lot of spouses get involved.
He just won.
Yeah.
Who's also not here to defend himself.
But I would say too, one time, sometimes we, not only do we go on family vacations, but we will rent a 15-passenger van and we'll drive there together.
Oh, when you guys floated out the idea to do that for this trip, no. I was like, the flight could be 10 times as much.
Well, we did it with all just the girls, and we were fine.
Yeah.
We did it just with
but the girls.
Don't you think it was easier all getting here on our own versus doing the 15?
Yeah.
Totally.
Those days are done.
Yeah.
But we're about to do it again in Jamaica, in another country, where we all get on the same flight, all get in the same cars.
Oh my gosh.
So,
but it's only an hour and a half from the airport. That's not too bad. 15 hours.
And speaking of flights, Blasey was there since she was helpful, but I, for the first time, flew with the boys to get to Atlanta where we met Shar.
Asterisk, Blasey was there. There was 2 adults to 2 children. Mm-hmm. You're making it sound like you like wrangled 2 kids to the airport.
I kind of did. I definitely kind of did.
You had Blasey there.
But it was like she was doing her thing. She wasn't sitting with us.
100%.
She wasn't
sitting with you?
She was sitting right in front of you.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Like angled, not even the direct row, but like across the aisle in front of you so she could actually reach over.
I'll give you an example. When we landed, well, first of all, Jacob got like motion sickness.
Oh, he did throw up
on the plane. I'm like doggy bagging his barf. Held it over a lady's head to grab a suitcase. Very risky play.
Why did you do that?
Incredibly risky. Because I was like, I'm trying to get the kids out. I'm trying to carry their luggage. Jacob couldn't carry anything. He's like trembling. So I'm like, I just got to hope. And I reached over. I was like, this drops on this lady's head. I pulled it off. I executed. Anyways, and then we get out and Blasey's like, I got to go to the bathroom. Okay, I'll wait for you. No problem. She goes, no. I'll meet you. We'll catch up. 45 minutes later, she went on the wrong train to the international terminal.
What's so funny about that is she was texting me while you guys were getting on the plane because I was flying there from DC. So we're all traveling at the same time. And she was like, Matt's sense of direction is concerning. And I was like, now you feel my pain. I totally agree. So she kept like trash talking you. And then she calls me when she split off from me to go to the bathroom. She calls me, seriously, it's alarming. Like, how does he hold a job
I'm in the car
with this type of sense of direction? And as she's literally on the wrong train going 100 miles an hour towards international terminal.
Yeah.
She's like, what an idiot.
And I'm like, I call Shar. I'm like, hey, I just got off. I'm actually at gate 6. She's like, oh, I'm parked right at gate 6. I was like, walked in the kids perfectly.
So funny.
And she's like, he's an idiot. Literally 45 minutes to pick her up, get in the car.
I will say, I think we do. So we've gone on a Scotland trip with Shar and Matt. And I think, like, to Shar's point, as adults, we really like to hang out. And as the kids do get older, like, we endure all the annoying kid stuff to be able to hang out, which you already alluded to. But I think as they get older, we'll actually, I don't know if it'll ever fade away, because I think we'll always like enjoy doing those things. And the more we get to be adults as the years go on and the kids kind of do their own thing, it'll like rejuvenate, and not, the headache will get less, or it'll just change.
Yeah.
And so I think it'll always kind of be around. That we like the memories. The
kids
like
create the most chaos and escalate the tension in the home.
Oh, 100%. They do that even if you go on a family vacation with just your unit, they do that. That's just like kids.
Yeah.
If it was just you and Matt on a trip versus you and all your kids, it's just different.
Right.
You know?
It's
so
fun.
Anyways.
I'm trying to think of like anything quirky that people do on trips.
Well, and then also I want to ask, do we have any traditions that we're like, have to do this every time?
And what trips are traditions? Or what we do when it depends where we go. Like the Keys, I feel like we have a lot of tradition.
Yeah, like sunset
like
is a tradition.
Yeah. Well, we'll
go
carry
get
that.
the key lime pie. Like that's like usually around food and.
Oh, I hate key lime pie.
Well, I'd say that the tradition with sunset will go into any trip we do all together.
Yeah. Because it happens every day.
There's certain like
it's like a timestamp.
Yeah. There's certain
there's
things
not really
we have to go see.
Sunset scene.
Even here in Highlands, there's certain places we have to eat, certain things we have to do.
There's a camera.
Waterfalls we see.
Mama was gonna come sit down and join us.
I wish we had an extra mic for her.
Yeah.
All the wisdom.
Well, okay, last thing. I mean, one of these days, I think the most outrageous vacation that we'll probably try to hit up in the next few years is Dad really wants to, fun fact about the Chivigians is that we're all, or this goes beyond Chivigians now, but we're all Swiss citizens. So he really wants to take a family trip to Switzerland.
Are you?
Yeah.
Char's not.
My entire family is, except my
all
husband,
expired.
Stetson's family, you guys, I don't know what's happening over here.
I am.
You are.
Matt thinks that
just because your passport expires doesn't mean you're not a Swiss citizen anymore.
Yeah, you're still
Matt, your Canadian passport expired last year, so
I felt like I was Tom Hanks in the movie
you
where
lost
he's
your
stuck in the terminal
citizenship.
at the airport.
Were you really?
Like they wouldn't let me go anywhere.
Wait, you couldn't get home or?
I'm kidding.
Oh.
Unbelievable.
I was like, oh my gosh.
What was your point though about traditions?
Someday we want to
Oh,
go to
Switzerland.
That's just outrageous trip.
What do you think your dad will be like on that trip? What do you think Stefan will be like? Do you think he'll be like in his prime?
Oh, he'll be
or you
showing
think
off.
he'll be like so frustrated as to like how we ruin the experience?
I actually
I think he'll show off.
I think
He
he'll
wants
be
to
really,
see the boys climbing those mountains.
well,
Yeah,
I have a
he'll
son
lead the
that
way.
would do that.
Yeah.
No, I actually think he'll be really active, but we probably need to go sooner rather than later before he gets too old and like can't. Mom, I don't
We're
even know
still
if
in
you
our
could.
50s.
But you did fall.
Oh yeah, I did fall once, but I broke
And
my
like
arm.
broke her arm and had to climb down a mountain to get help.
Yeah, we did,
It's crazy.
but I survived.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we don't have any too wild stories after Jamaica, because this will be the first time that we're all getting on a plane together.
We need to document it for sure.
Yeah.
I know. I want to do this there, but we'll see.
We might. We'll see.
It'll
Or
be
see.
It'll be interesting. I'm very curious to see how that flight goes with all the children.
It's gonna be complete
I feel
chaos.
It's
very bad for everybody else on the flight.
But it's a
only-
very quick flight.
It's only an hour and a half.
Yeah. It'll
Yeah.
be fine.
Yeah. And all they're gonna be excited about is getting Sprite and nuts in their seat. And Luca's gonna be glued to the window.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
It'll be good.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
All right, guys. Thanks for walking through our family vacays and how we do this and why. And yeah, shedding some light.
Until the next one.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Thank
All
you.
right. Signing off. Bye.
Bye.